Hey guys, Seiben here bringing you more Magic the Gathering speculation. So of course I've been thinking a lot about the Battle for Zendikar. With the set less than a month away and spoilers coming like crazy, it's hard to ignore the growing hype around BFZ. One thing I've been looking out for with these spoilers are the underlying spoilers for the story of the set, and I think I've stumbled across something interesting. We got a spoiler for a card the other day called Drana's Emissary. It's a 2/2 flying vampire ally for 1 colorless, 1 white, and 1 black mana. It does the usual vampire stuff, taking a life from each of your opponents and gaining you 1 life at the beginning of your upkeep. The card itself isn't the interesting part, although I do find it to be pretty decent, but it's the name and flavor text that really excites me. I've always been a fan of the Vampires of Zendikar. They have a very unique culture about them, and their origins are just as mysterious as their leaders. You can learn more about the Vampires of Zendikar in my video about them here or in the description below. In short, the Vampires of Zendikar are ruled by different houses in an area known as Guldraz. These houses are like political factions, each arguing and vying for control over resources to better their positions. It's like a mixture of Game of Thrones and Twilight. We know a number of these vampire houses, but the 2 most famous and well known are the Calistria and the Get. Their leaders were represented in the original Zendikar block with Kalitas, Bloodchief of Get, and Drana, Calistria Bloodchief. Drana, now that name sounds familiar. Yes, this new ally vampire seems to be the Bloodchief's emissary. This clears out one theory that I had about the fate of vampires on Zendikar. I figured many of them probably died off, or perhaps became enslaved by the Eldrazi as they once had been before. But since this vampire fights for Drana, and she's an ally, I can safely say that at least the Calistria house are fighting for the side of Zendikar. That's a fine guess and all, but what other evidence do we have? Well, we have a quote from the Bloodchief herself, found on another spoiled card, Defiant Bloodlord. The flavor text reads, "Despite their bravado, mortals are fragile. If Zendikar is to endure, its lords must save it." Okay, that's a little harsh to say, but at least it seems that she agrees that the vampire bloodlords must fight with the rest of the Zendikari to save their world. But the Calistria vampires aren't the only vampires on Zendikar. What about the others? The other bloodlords have been fighting for, well, basically forever. Will they all just go with Drana's decision and help Zendikar? Well, the simple answer is probably not. One of Drana's most outspoken critics would definitely be Kalitas, the Bloodchief of Get, and it seems their feud will continue in the Battle for Zendikar. On the spoiled Eldrazi Devastator card, we get a quote from the former Bloodchief in the flavor text. It reads, "No matter how big your champion, theirs is bigger. No matter how great your numbers, theirs are greater. No matter how voracious your appetite, they are hungrier. That is why the Eldrazi will win." It seems like Kalitas has already given up to the Eldrazi, and he has a new title, Thrall of Ulamog. The former Bloodchief of Get must have given up his vampires to the Eldrazi, who once again enslaved them. Kalitas and his brood now fight for the Eldrazi, while Drana and her ally vampires look to oppose their union. The Calistria vampires have chosen to fight off the chains of their former masters, and while some of their kind have fallen back to captivity, to Drana and her vampires, the taste of freedom is sweeter than blood. Of course, today we find that a new Drana card has been announced. The artwork is speculated, but she will be a 2/3 flying vampire ally with first strike and cost 1 colorless and double black. When she deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on each attacking creature you control. We can only assume at this point that Kalitas will also be reprinted, most likely with some ability that benefits his new Eldrazi overlords. I really love this inner vampire rivalry which seems to be building up, and I can't wait to see their cards in action. Let me know what you think about these Zendikar vampires. Do you think we'll see a new print for Kalitas? Let me know in the comments below. In any case, if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way in supporting future content. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.